Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, get back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else she feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome to Shay's Tube Late Night with the Shay. All right, y'all. Happy and blessed Wednesday to you guys. Wednesday night, Thursday morning for some. And I hope you guys had a beautiful Wednesday. I definitely did, y'all. Y'all, I got a new cat. I'll put pictures up of it and my other one too. All right, so that's some good things that we did today. Some good news. Saint Laurent or something like that. I can't remember. He's so cute. You guys, you should see him. So I am going to put a picture of him up. And then my other one, I'll put a picture of that one too. The other one is really, really cute. Wait till you guys see her. All right. But anyway, y'all, welcome to Shay's Tube. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed this content. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay. Over here in the chat, we got Jermaine in a place to be. What's up, Jermaine? Jermaine said, drop a super chat or a super sticker or support the stream by doing a cash app at $Shay's Tube, or you can copy yourself a membership for $4.99. All right, per month. All right, let's go ahead and do this copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. Part of it is scrolling across the screen, and it will be in my comment area once this video is done, or sometime when I get a chance to put it up there. All right. So tonight, guys, this is day 20 for Diddy Trial. I think this is day 20. And a lot of stuff happened today in the courtroom. All right. And we're going to be talking about Anada Lewis. She passed on from cancer, I believe, breast cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So my condolences are expressed out to her family, friends, and fans, and my prayers are with them. Y'all remember when she was on MTV? Her and Tatiana Ali, they resemble. And every time I see Ananda, she used to always, make me think about Tatiana because they look like they could be sisters. All right. But anyway, that's a sad situation. I remember talking about her, I think maybe a year or two ago, when she was talking about her cancer and things like that. So we will touch on her, her passing on after I get through with Diddy, and then that will be it. So go get you something to drink. If you are in bed, go ahead and get your pillows all puffed up for you and stuff. If you are at work, watch me on the download or either listen to me on the download. Don't get in trouble though. All right. And let's go ahead and take some time out to watch Shades 2, Late Night with Shay. All right. All right. Let me put the background music on, and then we're going to go ahead and start off. Because it seems so empty when there's no music playing in the background. Let's see what I want to use. Let's see, maybe this. I think I went, well, now I want to use the other one because the other one makes me be falling asleep and things like that. All right. So anyway, first thing first, let's go ahead and do Diddy's trial day. Let's see if this is 20 or 21. I don't never remember until I go down here and look. Okay, so today is Diddy Trial Day 21 recap, not 20. So you change this to 21. That's why, I like putting it at the bottom because I remember. Because I'll be having the wrong dates up here. So we need to change that and put 21. Probably can't change it yet, but I'll change it again once this video is over. So yeah, it changed. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with that. Let me put this up here as well. I forgot to add this. Let's see here. Where is it? The banners. Oh, it is up there already. It just looked weird. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start off. Let's show these things on the thing. So anyway, first thing first, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Sean Diddy Combs. Let's go ahead and do a summary, not using GPT. Okay, I don't use GPT, but let's go ahead and do this summary real quick. I said that because dodo bird thought that's what I was using. It was wrong like always. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Gonna move on from her stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. So bear with me. Okay. So we're talking about his trial, day 21 for Wednesday, June the 11th, 2025. Okay. So let's go ahead and recap it. So here are some key developments from today's trial. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little bit too loud. Y'all make sure y'all check out my Country Wayne reaction videos as well. I'm going to try to do one tomorrow before I leave out. So make sure y'all be looking forward to that tomorrow morning. Okay? Okay, so anyway, here are the key developments from today's trial. Jane Doe continued with her cross-examination and contradictions. Diddy's defense team pressured her further, aiming to show she was a willing participant, okay, in the hotel nights, or as we know them, the freak-offs, all right? She admitted that she had initiated some of these encounters, including one time where she hired 2 male escorts to be in the room with her while Sean Combs watched. She stated that this was her suggestion and that Combs was very excited about that. Now, the defense highlighted emotional texts she sent to Combs in 2023, which is not too long ago, calling him a blessing and expressing gratitude for his financial support. This contrasted with her earlier tearful testimony about feeling coerced and used. The defense continued to emphasize the consistent financial support Sean Diddy Combs provided, including $10,000 monthly rent and attorney fees for her testimony. To suggest a motive for her continued involvement and potential influence on her statements, Jane was also questioned about her expressed jealousy over Combs' relationship or relationships with other women and her desire for a more public relationship with him. So I guess she was on a down low with him. Okay. Now the prosecution seeks removal of a juror, and I think I was telling you guys about this yesterday. I think I said that he was nodding and smiling and stuff, doing the most. And so I think I said yesterday that the prosecution wanted that juror to be removed, okay? But the defense team did not go for that, okay? So he was still, able to remain in the jury, okay? Now, before Jane's testimony began, the prosecution requested the dismissal of one of the jurors, juror number 6, citing a lack of candor with the court that raises serious issues. Prosecutor Maureen Comey stated that the government was initially reluctant but felt compelled to make this request. Diddy's defense attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, objected, arguing it was a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. Judge Aaron Submaranian stated he would address the matter further on Thursday after receiving written submissions from both sides, indicating he would reserve on handling logistics until a decision is made. The defense team indicated that Jane's cross-examination is expected to conclude on Thursday morning. The prosecution is approaching the end of its presentation of evidence. So that is a little summary of what went on today in Sean Diddy's 21st day of his trial. All right. Now let's talk about this a little bit further. First thing first, Jermaine sent me some information about Jane Doe. Okay, let me go ahead and go over that with you guys. And thank you, Jermaine, for all your help. So let's see what you did with it. Am I on the right phone? Which phone did you send that to? Let's see. It may be on this phone right here. Hold on, let me check to see, you guys. At least I thought Jermaine has sent me some information. I don't see it. Let's see if it's here. Oh, here it is right here. Thanks, Jermaine. So attorney Tenny G, because I'm going to say her name wrong, she pressed Jane on the benefits that she got from Sean Combs. So let me tell y'all all the stuff that he gave her, okay? A $20,000 investment in her swimwear line, okay? $10,000 a month for rent in a 5,300 square feet LA home. He also gave her luxury gifts like a Van Cleef necklace or cleft necklace and a Chanel Escape handbags. All right. So the defense used these facts to argue she was financially motivated rather than coerced. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. So, we remember the love contract. Now, I'm thinking that love contract is basically a contract, that they were in a relationship. That's the first thing. But in this relationship, I'm guaranteeing you for a period of time that I'm going to give you $10,000 a month, for your rent. I'm going to pay your rent. He gave her $15,000 to go get furniture. All right, so that was yesterday when I told you guys about that. Then he got her some veneers. Okay, I forgot how much that cost. And then you see $20,000 investment in a swim line, a swimwear line, and then these luxury gifts. So I'm thinking all of this stuff probably was inside of the contract. Okay, but I'm wondering if he put in the contract that what his demands were in exchange for, all of these things right here. I'm wondering that, because why would he be writing up a contract with all of this stuff in it if he isn't asking for something in return? So I'm wondering if hey Teron, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm wondering if he added in there, you would be willing to do the hotel nights with me, and I'll give you this, because we were together, if you be good or whatever. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't say it like he's paying her in exchange for doing the hotel night. So he probably worded it in a different type of way. I'm just wondering. I don't know if he did that. I'm just asking. Do you guys think he did that love contract like that? Because why would he still be paying her rent now? They're not together. So that contract must have been for a set amount of time. Okay. And I still can't see why he would give this woman all this stuff unless he has something in that contract that he wanted. Like, I want you to be able to do these hotel nights. Now, granted, like I said before, a lot of people will be jumping on this. I know they sit up here and lie right now. You got women being with men now for their little paychecks. Okay, let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So I know good and daggone well a lot of women would have jumped on this. All right. But the thing where Sean messed up at, if he did anything, is if he was abusing these people, physically, actually abusing and things like that. Or he's making them do stuff when they don't want to do it, or just going overboard. That's where he would have messed up at, if that's what he did. Okay, because we don't know if he did this. I'm just, saying this since he's up on these charges. So the thing is, if he would have did all of this in a legal manner and not making people do things if they don't want to do it, because that's what these women are claiming, he probably wouldn't be incarcerated right now. So and just say if he was like that, right, and wasn't doing anything extra, I know a lot of women probably would have jumped on this. Okay, so I pretty much believe that he did ask for something in that love contract. Also, did they say they have an actual copy of that contract, or the actual contract itself? Because it would be very interesting to read what he has in this contract. Because usually in contracts, they tell you what they want, and then they give you, whatever, or either they tell you what they're going to give you, but they do still put down what this money is for. Okay, so if it's for, because I want to take care of you because we're dating. If he was smart, he would have, typed it up like that and said, I just want to take care of you while we're dating. I'm going to supply, you this, you with this, 10 grand, pay your rent, all this other stuff. But still, it's kind of odd. But people do they do odd things. If he wrote this up or typed this up or had it typed up like that, then can't nobody say he was doing ex trafficking or anything like that, because everything is spelled out in the contract. And he's not saying it in a way like he's buying her services with the hotel nights in exchange for her rent and things like that. That's what I'm saying. You said she had a $10,000 month lease. Her business was funded, and she kept taking gifts years after the coercion allegation began. And that's another thing too. If you are so scared of someone, like you are so afraid of a person, you tell me, how in the heck is it possible for a person to be going back and forth to this person all the time and then praising this dude all the time, even when she wasn't with him? Okay, she just praised him back in 2023. That's kind of weird to me. honestly, if I was with a dude and he was doing stuff that they say Sean did, I don't think I would be talking to this dude, you guys. I just really don't. I think he would basically be history. Once I get away, I'm not sitting up online writing love notes and letters and shit to this person. Okay, I'm not doing that at all. But what I am doing is not talking to his ass anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not writing messages saying you are so great, you are a good man, and this and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. Y'all heard those messages. I think I read them last night. And Cassie, was it Cassie? No, it was the other. I'm trying to think. It was another person in Cassie too who did the same thing. This is weird, you know. Even when Cassie got married, remember they said that Sean Combs and her talked on the phone or something. You said why didn't she leave? Why launch a swimwear line with this money if she was scared? That's what I'm trying to say. And you're accepting all these luxury gifts and things like that. Even if you did accept the luxury gifts, how about taking those gifts, some of them, not all of them, because he won't be able to tell, take some of those purses, whatever, and sell them for money so you can get the crap away from him. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not really buying into this 100%, but this lady, like I said last night, I'm thinking that she did stuff willingly, and she may have been told to do certain things at times too. But I really do believe that some of these women, was all in for it, and then at times Sean probably did, force them or threaten them or whatever the case is to go ahead and do that freak off for that night, okay, or whatever. I bet you he did do that, but at the same time, like I said, I still believe that some of these women was doing stuff because they wanted to. Because as you heard me say she hired 2 male escorts herself. Sean didn't tell her to do that, she did it on her own, And if you're not into that type of stuff, I don't give a crap. You're not going to be calling up no male escorts, having them come out to you. You're just not going to be doing that. And if you are against all this little freaky stuff with Sean, you will find some type of way to get away from him, especially when you have a little bit of money, period. So let's see what else we got here about the case today. Let's see what else we got. And thanks for that information, Jermaine. Let's go ahead and see this. This whole case is crazy. And these people that got up on the stand, it's just weird, you guys. It's a very weird situation. Here we go. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so yeah, it's like a weird ass situation, you guys. Like I said before, about what 4 weeks ago, really 5 weeks ago, I started changing my mind. Then when I told you guys this sounds weird, you know what I'm saying? These women getting up here, these men, all these people sitting around, and this man do all of these things, especially these men. All right, and just I don't know what the hell. Who is Sean Combs? For all these men to be afraid of him. I did meet the dude in person. He seemed like he was okay in person, but that's not a personal thing, you know what I'm saying? So, hold on, y'all. Let me check out something real quick. Let me look and see what somebody's about. Hold on for 1 second. I want y'all to think about all this stuff that you know about this case, and just think about what I'm saying about these witnesses. And you too, Jermaine, and then write in the chat, and I'll put that up. Hold on for 1 second, though. All right, y'all, I'm back. I had to look at something real quick. So as I was saying, these women getting up here, telling their story, like I said, I do believe some of the things that they say, but unfortunately, I don't believe everything that these people are saying, you guys, and the men either. I just don't. I just think it's more, to the story. I really do. Let me see what you're saying over here. You said the prosecution has shown no emails, texts, or recording of threats. And honestly, I haven't read anything like that. Okay. I don't recall reading anything like that. I don't, like I said, I don't understand what this whole trial is about. Okay, besides, it sounds like domestic violence. I hate to say that. It sounds like that. It definitely sounds like domestic violence. I mean, we know that he partake in domestic violence. We know he beat the shit out of Cassie. And honestly, I'm not a lawyer, but in my opinion, he should have been brought up on state charges, okay, of domestic violence and that type of stuff, because we know that he beat the crap out of Cassie. There's a videotape, okay. So I'm just thinking it should have been those charges, because I believe we looked up some of the charges he could possibly face with the state, and some of those carry up to 25 years in jail or prison or whatever. So I don't understand why what this RICO stuff is about. It's this X trafficking. I just don't. I mean, and then why aren't other people brought up there? Okay, why aren't they brought up? Okay, so you said that Jane admits Diddy never told her outright to do these things. She just felt like she was obligated because he was paying her rent, and which is weird. Do you think that I'm getting ready to agree to something that I don't want to do because you're paying my rent and you're giving me all this money? No. Now, if in that contract, if he has something in there like, well, this means that you need to do, hotel nights for me. In my contract, you're going to have to specify everything that you want me to do, because I may say no. And we're not going to be doing no weird shit and all this other weird stuff. I'm going to know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I said, I just don't see, no RICO. I don't know about that X trafficking, but so far I don't see it. Now, the bribery thing, I may see that, because like I told you guys before, if he did do what we talked about before with the other person, I can't remember exactly the details what it was about, but I did talk about the bribery and extortion. Remember, I talked about that. If that's true about Cassie's mom, okay, if he extorted, if he went over there and called her up and told her that he was going to release explicit pictures or videos of Cassie, he wanted 10 grand or 20 grand, whatever it is, then that would be extortion if that is true. We don't know if that is true. You see what I'm saying? This is what they're telling us. We still paying, man. We don't know if that's true, okay? So again, if it is true, I can possibly, I can see, this fan, extortion, possibly. It's too damn high, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to get it on a lower speed. So I can see that somewhat if that's true. But I don't see any evidence pointing to a lot of things. It's like a bunch of hearsay, and that's all I basically see, Right, a messy, dead-going relationship. And it sounds like a lot of freaky shit was going on, a lot of perversion, and some of these women was game for it until things got too hot and heavy. And let me say this. Now, if they were all into it at first, and then when they weren't into it anymore, and then Sean forced them, then that's not right. See what I'm saying? That's not right at all. So like I said, I'm not condoning anything that he did, or if he did anything, because if he forced them to do stuff, even if they were game for the freak offs at first, when someone says they don't want to do something, then you need to stop. Okay, point blank. It doesn't matter if they were into it at first. Okay, they can change their mind. So that's why I said if he basically would have went into these, orgies and things in the right way, and not pressure people or coerce if that's what he did, or force if that's what he did, then I don't see a crime, because it would be that all of these people willingly participated in these hotel nights, aka freak offs. You said reasonable doubt says feeling pressure is not criminal coercion. What's the threat? Where's the force? Right. And she said she felt obligated because he gave her all that money. All right. But if he was giving her that money because they were dating and he did not put anything in there about hotel stuff, then why would she feel obligated? Unless he's telling her stuff. But still, you don't do stuff just because you feel obligated. You do it because you want to do it. All right. That's what you do. I think these women were doing stuff because they was trying to, get Sean Combs to really like them and love them and things like that. And they wanted, him all to their self. You know what I'm saying? Because, in this world right here, women do that. Okay. So, there they can do the same thing, especially with him having all that daggone money. Right. She benefited from that lifestyle. She definitely did. She, 10 grand. And then you get $15,000 to decorate your home. Come on now. And then you got veneers. She got the swim lodge. What was it? 20,000 invested in that. Just a lot of stuff, But, and she didn't leave because she didn't want to lose all that. Because one thing that I do know that he did do, every time he did not get his way, he tried to use that basically. He would say, I think I'm about to call it quits. And, I'm not going to pay your rent anymore, right? So then when he says that, then the girl could say, oh, wow, okay, babe, whatever you want to do, I'll go ahead and do it. So I don't know what that can be looked at as. That possibly could be coercion, okay? Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Let's see, you said, was this regret after the fact or was it abuse from the start? I believe, wait, you said she changed the story. Hold on. You said Diddy didn't hide her. He brought her on trips. She posted online and she enjoyed the luxury. Okay. She only changed her story when public pressure and other lawsuits started piling up. Was this regret after the fact or was it abuse from the start? Isn't this lady 50 Cent's ex? And if she is, didn't she accuse 50 of something too? Is this the same lady? Jermaine, if I'm just wondering, is this the same lady? Because I thought I overheard somebody saying it was. So if this is the same lady and what I said is true, then there you go. Okay. Not saying that he didn't do anything to her, because I'm going to tell you straight up, I still believe he did some things. I really do. But I just don't believe, it's everything that these people are saying. I just don't believe that, And whatever happened to all the other stuff that they said was going on in those houses and stuff, all the underage kids being there, people being held against their will. They was doing sacrifices, all types of shit. What happened to all of that? All the celebs, like Ali said, was there, and other people. What happened to all these people? So this is a weird ass case. What happened to these girls saying they were put inside of a cage, all this other stuff? I'm asking now, were all of these people lying? Because I don't see anything about this. And why weren't any of these girls called to be on the stand? Did you guys forget about that? Because I didn't. And I'm just still wondering why none of these people are on the witness stand. Okay? So this case, like I said, is very odd. I mean, it's very odd, and just weird. You know what I'm saying? And these people all want to come and tell now, but nobody was saying anything before. Wasn't saying shit. Wasn't saying a daggone thing. Okay, so you said it might be the anonymous Jane Doe. We don't know, right? And if it is, then that is 50's ex, right? But we don't know for sure if that's the person. That's what they've been saying online. So these are just, this is allegedly, okay? We don't know for sure. We're going to be throwing nothing out on this channel and saying stuff, and it's not true. Okay, so this is allegedly. Okay, so if this is the same lady, and if this lady, I don't know if this is the same lady who claimed some certain situations with 50 cents, but they proved it not to be true, then, I mean, what does this say? You know what I'm saying? What does this say? Now, let me see what else I got on this case, because I did look it up in more detail. Okay, here it is right here. Let's see here. What else they got here? So this lady, Jane, was jealous, allegedly, of Combs with Young Miami. Okay? She said it was painful. And she started crying on the stand, you guys. This is crazy. So let's see what else she said here. Yeah, she was upset when she saw those photos of Young Miami and Combs together. Now, one message that she wrote, they read it out in court today. It says, "I resent him for how much I loved him and couldn't say no to him," she testified. And why couldn't she say no to him? Because she loved him so much? Girl, no. So if you couldn't say no to him because you loved him so much, how is that against the law? Okay, so Combs, let's see here. Let's see what else they got here. Hold on. So the prosecution did say they may rest their case by next Wednesday, okay? And they said it could be, they said it could rest no later than a week from Friday, and perhaps as early as next Wednesday, okay? And they may be cutting some witnesses as well, okay? They said they are going to condense the case. And I wonder why. I wonder why they are doing that and they are cutting some witnesses. Okay? Why is that? Okay, let's see what else they got here. So they showed a party video as well, okay? Where Sean expressed how good for each other they were. Combs told Jane they needed to pick each other up, isolate ourselves, and do the same thing. And that was in the fall of 2023. And they say he did acknowledge he hadn't been the best boyfriend, saying, "I don't want to hurt you no more. What the F is going on?" Okay, right. So you said she initiated extra encounters. She sure did, because we read it and talked about it. It came right out of her mouth. So Jane said she encouraged Combs to go 30 days eating healthy foods and staying off of drugs, and that included Combs pushing for a sobriety party, which was a hotel night without drugs. That party lasted between 12 to 18 hours and included Jane having sex with 3 men. She told the court she unfortunately agreed to Combs' request. She said, I resent him for how much I loved him and couldn't say no to him. And this was all regarding a get together on October 2023. She says she resents him for all of it. And then she started crying on the stand after discussing how Diddy was a blessing to her in a text message exchange. She told Diddy in a text message, "You are truly a blessing in my life. I have never had a man take care of me like you do." Now, Jane wrote to Diddy a day after one of their hotel nights, "You are the reason for my child's joy. It means the world to us. I love you, baby." Jane also wrote she will always be by Combs' side. She said, "You are my lover, my partner, my boyfriend." And on the stand, after reading all of this, Jane began crying in front of the jury. She's still in love with Combs, okay? Then she testified about that Van Cleef necklace and bracelet she got in 2023 for her birthday. The witness recalled how excited she was to receive a Van Cleef necklace and bracelet set for her birthday in 2023. Jane says she wore lingerie and greeted Combs with open arms because the witness was happy to be wrapped up in my lover's arms in 2023. All right. And then they asked her if the birthday celebration led to a hotel night, and she said, unfortunately, yes. And then Combs sent $13,000 to Jane for birthday celebrations. All right. This was in February of 2023. Jane acknowledged the money was for an outfit and her friends who wanted to celebrate over dinner in Los Angeles. $13,000. Jane said the birthday dinner was okay, but not great, and that she originally asked Diddy for $15,000. Diddy was also with Young Miami at the time, whose birthday was around the same date as hers. Jane testified. So, she probably was teed off. So Diddy was a player. And then in August 2022, she had a little, freak off, somewhat like a freak off with Sean and ex-worker Paul. Jane testified she told the defendant how much she appreciated these encounters. Jane texted Combs that she's having so much fun and that she would never take this for granted and will always make sure Sean is taken care of. Now, the defense wants to cast these extra encounters, freak-offs, as consensual acts and not part of any criminal enterprise led by Combs. I don't see how she was coerced or forced into these things she just said. All right, I just don't. And she did testify that she initiated some of these freak-offs with Combs. Okay, let's go ahead and read these comments. If she's orchestrating the events, how is she being coerced? How is that trafficking? Right. Her own words show affection, not fear. I agree. Jane sent loving, grateful text messages after the events she now calls traumatic. Would a victim of trafficking react that way? Would she be that emotionally connected? I just don't think so. Okay. I mean, he's sending her money. She's asking for 15 grand. He sends her 13,000. I mean, it just does not sound like what she's talking about to me. It just doesn't. Now, the defense lawyers have presented exhibits in court suggesting Jane initiated some freak-offs with Combs at a hotel. Lawyers entered as evidence photos of a room with rose petals and balloons, all decorated by Jane. They asked if she suggested a hotel night with two other men at the same time, and she answered yes. Yes, that was my suggestion. Combs was excited about that. That's what Jane said in court. So we already went over this right here. Okay. So, I mean, that's what went on in the courtroom today, you guys. As we already know, the prosecution is trying to use these witnesses to prove ex-trafficking. What is the other one? The RICO stuff. That's what they're doing. And they're trying to, paint a certain picture of this dude. All right. The defense, on the other hand, is trying to show that these women and men they were not coerced to do anything. Everybody did stuff on their own. Everything was consensual, and they don't have real evidence to back up their, claims. The defense says that Diddy is not guilty. He's just a player, basically, and he likes to swing, do the swinger lifestyle, and these women knew that from the start, and they're just, upset and, trying to get more money. So for me, like I said before, I just do not see, no ex-trafficking, the RICO stuff. I just don't see it. I see domestic violence, maybe the bribery, probably not though, and then definitely the extortion if it's true and they have evidence, to bag it up. But all this other stuff, I just don't see it. Right. What's illegal? And I just don't. I really just don't get it. I just really don't. Yeah, I do not get it. So let's see here. So the thing about it is, though, this man seems to enjoy watching his women have relationships, relationship with other men. And then he allegedly, get his groove on from that. Okay. They're trying to, Jane, I guess, was trying to understand what was driving him to be like that. And it should be simple. He's just, let me say this a nice way. He's just a freakazoid. Okay. He just likes that. And once you find out that he does this and you're not game for it, that's when you should exit the relationship. Okay. I mean, nothing lasts forever, especially if you're not married to the person or anything else. And even those don't last forever. But you should be like, going your own separate way if a person is engaging in things that you are not down with versus staying there because, he's going to stop giving you this, that, if you walk out. And I do believe that he was using that as leverage to get things. Yeah, if you don't do what I ask you to do, then I'm done. The relationship is over. And then you know when the relationship is over, then that means you're not going to have your rent paid or anything. So then that's probably the reason why she says she feel obligated to do things with him because of that right there. So that's why she probably says that. You said Diddy may have been foul, selfish, or controlling, but being an asshole in a relationship ain't the same thing as being an ex-trafficker. And that's true. And like I said, he definitely seems like he was a hot ass mess in the relationship. But like you said, Jermaine, it definitely does not equate to some of these charges that they are trying to convict him on. And you said if just one juror thinks this was a toxic relationship full of bad choices, not federal crimes, that's all it takes. He's a cuck, a weirdo, right? He's a pervert. Yeah, that's what he is, a pervert. Pervert. And when you find out that somebody's a pervert and you're not a pervert, then you need to go on your way. But since they was getting all this money, that is the real reason why they stayed. Okay, they just try to put it in a different way. If somebody giving you $10,000, you got a really nice ass home, you got over $15,000 worth of cute furniture, you getting veneers done, you got a $20,000 on your swim line, you got all these luxury gifts, purses, probably jewelry, everything. You know, good and damn well your ass is gonna stay there and continue to do this weird shit with this man. And then later on in life, I don't know, maybe they're mad because he's not, with them, or, he's having other kids with other baby people and then do it with you. I don't know. And now they want to do a lawsuit. Or maybe because they saw Cassie do her stuff, they felt the courage to get up there and try to do what they need to do too. I don't know. But I do know this, I don't see it where a RICO would be convicted on a RICO. I just do not see it. Maybe you guys see it, but I don't see it. Well, let's see what else. So yeah, she got all those expensive purses, all types of shit. So I know that's why she didn't want to leave, because all them damn good ass gifts, the rent on that nice ass house and all that other stuff that came with it. So, so let's see what else we got. Let's make sure we got everything. Let's see what they talk about on TikTok real quick. Maybe they got a little bit more information. Probably not, but we're gonna go check anyway, just to see. Let's go check. Let me go to TikTok real quick. Hold on for a minute, y'all. And let's see what they got. I thought I had a screen pulled up already. Yes, I didn't. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Yes, I didn't have it. And let's see. And then we're going to talk about Anada. Let's see. Let's see if they're going to say anything different. Did I miss anything? So let's look at this right here. Hold on, y'all. Let me do this right. Let me forget it. So let's do this.
We'll rule tomorrow.
Let me do this right.
Here's what happened on day 21 of the Diddy trial. The big news of the day is that the judge is considering removing Juror 6 for lack of candor. That means he lied in layman's terms. Judge Subramanian will rule tomorrow. The request was made by the prosecution, and the defense is trying to keep him on. For what it's worth, Juror 6 is a black male and a 90s hip-hop fan. The defense continued its cross-examination of victim Jane to argue that she was jealous of Diddy's other girlfriend Gina, and that this wasn't rape, but resent or regret. Jane used the hotel night card, which was basically sex with other men, to get Diddy to leave other women and spend time with her. There were times when Jane said she wasn't in the mood for a hotel night, and Diddy didn't push her. There were text messages where Jane was choosing between entertainers, invited them on trips, and in which she said a hotel night was amazing. That's evidence of choice and consent. There were also many text messages where Jane said she loved Diddy. Even though I believe that this is consistent with the psychology of abuse, that is one of the biggest challenges in the case. If Jane was really sexually assaulted or trafficked, why did she keep going back to her abuser? That's what the defense argued in the Harvey Weinstein case with some success. Jane is expected to finish her testimony tomorrow. Here's what happened on day 21 of the Diddy trial. The big news of the day is that the judges.
Let's see what else we got on here. Let's see if they're going to say anything a little bit different.
Was back on the stand late this afternoon, and they started off by talking about text messages from December of 2021 between her and a male entertainer. It was after a hotel night where she said it was an intense night, and he had texted her saying, "You were talking so dirty to me, I love it." He then says that after New Year's, she saw on social media that Diddy had taken a vacation with Gina. She sent him a message on January of 2022 being really upset, saying, "You have me feeling so taken advantage of and regretting everything." She also mentioned to him that they had an amazing New Year's week together. She even said that after seeing that post, she even considered breaking up with Diddy. They then show text messages between her and the male entertainer where he tells her he'll be in LA and he'll stay if she wants to see him. She responds saying, "It's my birthday weekend and you don't show me no love." And then she requested a personal video and said that same night she ended up seeing an Italian entertainer. And this was around the time where Diddy had taken up with Young Miami. Now remember, she had testified about this, how she spent her birthday doing hotel nights with Diddy, and then for Young Miami's birthday, he went and took her on vacation. Annie Garagos then asks her if she had asked Diddy to come home from vacation, and she said, "I did more than ask. I made him come home a day early." He then reads her text message to Diddy at that time where she said, "If you don't come here now, we're not going to do anything that you want to do." She was then asked, "Did you tell Sean that he wouldn't be having a Valentine's Day party with you?" And she says, "Yes, that was the first time I pulled that card." The hotel night card.
She
She then confirmed when Diddy came back early, she did in fact plan a hotel night for Valentine's Day with him. She said she prepared the room, she decorated it with rose petals, and planned to have 2 entertainers there at once. And she confirmed, yes, it was her idea, and no, she had never done that before. They then talk about text messages from March of 2022 where she says Diddy had made her delete a photo she posted that was just food, but it was obvious that they were together. She said she then saw that Gina had posted something where she was wearing a matching bracelet and necklace set, which was similar to what Diddy had gotten her, and she was upset. In the messages, "I told him to make Gina delete her post. I said he was giving me anxiety. To see these things were deeply hurtful to me." She said they went about 2 months in the spring of 2022 not having hotel nights, even though we still spent time together. Then on June 19th of that year, Diddy had asked for another hotel night. She responded saying, "Not really in the mood for that part. Don't want to make you mad." He responded saying, "All good," and then suggested role-playing scenarios instead. She said Diddy ended up suggesting having a movie night, which we already know what that means. They read another text message from July of 2022 where he says, "Call Italian or Paul if free." Now, when he said call the Italian, that was one text message. And then the next one was Paul, and she had hearted the one with Paul and confirmed it. She was asked, "He gave you a choice and you chose it, right?" And she said, "Yes." And in order to prepare for this night, she said she went and got shoes, shorts, maybe whips, and even admitted to getting rhino pills. The shorts and the pills were for the entertainers, not for her. She said she didn't like the shorts that they were in, so she brought her own. Next night, he asks if she wants to have dinner at 9 and tells her to bring the freak bag just in case. They show another text message where Diddy asks her, "Did you want to hit Italian?" And she says, "Yes, but I didn't want to." And says to her, "Paul is all we need." And she says, "LOL, I'll go to the store unless you get a head start," which she explained meant getting a head start, going to the hotel. She continues to get questioned more about these nights and asked if she had a great time on her birthday. And she said, "I had an okay time." They show a text message where she said, "Is Nobu the only place? How about something outside of the hotel?" And she said, "He conveniently put me in a hotel with Nobu. I suggested Poppy's Steaks." Annie Garagos says, "That's a nice restaurant in Miami." And she said, "So I've heard." They then showed the jury a photo that she had taken after Diddy had given her a Van Cleef necklace, and she was smiling in the photo wearing the necklace. She explained that she was taking substances, so any type of affection from Diddy made her smile. That same night, she said it was a hotel night and it was with her, Diddy, and 3 other men. Later texted Diddy, "I loved and appreciated every detail you put into my birthday." And she clarified to the court, "I was referring to the gifts and time with Sean." Annie Garagos says to her, "You sent him photos of your guys in the hotel room?" "Yes." "You didn't tell him you didn't like it until you saw him with Carisha and Turks, right?" Yes, it was very hurtful after enduring what I endured. Now, remember how she had stopped talking to Diddy for I think about 2 weeks and she flew off to Paris by herself? Well, she was asked about that too. I was heartbroken. I flew to Paris Fashion Week. You enjoyed it? Yes. I then read a text message from Diddy to her from March of 2023 where he says, sorry I called you the B word. I deserve this, love. He then writes to you, do you want to come to Turks? And she says, yes. You sent him a heart emoji and wrote, what we have is special, right? Yes. Budget for your trip was 100,000. Yes. He spent 55. I don't know. She was then asked if Diddy had asked her if he could bring Dawn, and she said, given the situation, I said yes. You said if you'd known Paul would be there, you wouldn't have gone to Turks, and she said, I would not have. Was then asked if she had invited Sly to come, and she said yes. Now remember, this was when they went to Turks, and she fought with Diddy in front of Dawn and walked out crying, and to make it up because Diddy got mad at her, she called Sly and asked him to come. You were happy Sean gave you diamonds? I thought it was sweet. You were glad to get diamonds. I just wanted Sean. She was then asked, do you remember telling Paul that you'd let Sean go too far and it was your fault? She says yes, and this is where they stopped for a break. Indo was back on the stand late this afternoon, and they started off by talking about text messages from December of 2021 between her and a male entertainer. It was after a hotel night where she said it was an intense night, and he had texted her saying, you were talking so dirty to me, I love it. He then says that after New Year.
I'm trying to stop the daggone video. Okay, so let's see what this lady talking about. Yeah, so I was just reading what somebody said over there. I agree with this person over here. She said, with Jane, I truly believe she did not want to do these things, but it's giving she chose to more often than Kate Cassie. She seemed to have a higher tolerance of acceptance to her situation. Did she necessarily want to do this? No, but I think she could have stopped it if she wanted. I agree with some of that, not all of it, because I do think she wanted to do these things, okay? You can't sit on the stand and say you feel obligated because this man gave you all this money and things like that and use that as a defense, for your actions, because you feel obligated. If you can feel obligated all you want to, but the thing is, if he's doing something that you don't agree with, do something else to repay him back since you feel obligated. Why does it have to be, doing the freak offs? You said she began therapy 3 months ago and blamed herself for succumbing to his influence despite misgivings. That money, I'm telling you, it can motivate people to do things, okay? That may be another reason why he was, so generous and things like that. We just don't know. But again, honestly, I don't see a RICO here. But I'm not a lawyer either. It could be what hidden there, who knows? But I'm just saying, I really just don't see it. Let's see if we got any more information. Now I'm looking at this one. Okay, let's see what else here we got. I forgot what I was going to say. You said you covered it pretty good. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Thank you, Jermaine. I forgot what I said I was going to do, guys, that quick as I started looking at something else. What did I just say I was going to do? I forgot. Shit. It was something I was going to look up. There was something else I was going to look up with this lady. I'm trying to think what it was. I can't remember. Let's see. So they just said Sean Diddy Combs just suffered a big legal loss in trial. Let's see what that is real quick. Let's see what that big legal loss they're talking about real quick, guys. This is old. What are we talking about? Let me see. Okay, they're talking about Tuesday. Okay, we're talking about now. Let's see. This is irrelevant Because this case with Jane, honestly, it's just, I don't think that it proved, I don't think it proved that he did any ex trafficking or anything like that. You know, I'm still trying to figure out how she was coerced into doing something, unless, like I just said, they used the contract, because maybe he has something in the contract that states that, you know, I'm gonna give you all this money, but you got to make sure I want you to do these freak offs, unless it's something like that there. Otherwise, I just don't see it. But I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers may see it, but I don't see it. Her testimony is definitely similar to Cassie's. I forgot what I was going to talk about a few minutes ago, but hers is definitely, you know, similar to Cassie's. You know, again, I think a lot of these women, first of all, we know that it appears that Sean Diddy Combs was a player. He had many women, okay? And I believe that these women started getting more attached to him and started falling in love with him, and they wanted more. And he wasn't willing to give that to, you know, some of these women. You know, and I think they were upset. I don't know if I'm correct or not, but I'm just saying, I think they were upset because of that. And this is probably some retaliation as well. Yeah, Cassie definitely did have more evidence to prove. Because for one thing, she had that video that showed that he did beat her butt. And then she has some more pictures, I believe, of her bruising. But somebody else did too. I can't remember who that was. I think that was the Baina, whatever the girl's name is, her, who had those pictures when he allegedly dangled her from the balcony and then threw her against some furniture. Okay, I think she had showed some pictures as well. So this is crazy. Mike, they did, of course, they back test Cassie's testimony up, but it wouldn't be too hard not to believe anyway because of the video in the hotel where we saw him beat the crap out of Cassie. So it wouldn't be too hard to convince anybody of anything in regards to him committing domestic violence. All right, because we just see on Cassie and could be on other people because, you know, this is all based on that video we saw him, you know, physically abusing Cassie. So of course you will believe that he possibly could have physically abused other people, you know, other women. But still, I'm still asking the question, all of these men, you know, security and things like that, who saw him fighting Cassie, I just don't understand why they didn't intervene. You know, some of them said because they didn't want to lose their career, but still you're going to let a girl get her ass whooped, possibly alive, because you don't want to be blackballed or you don't want to lose your job or just some weird stuff like this. You're going to let this girl get her butt whooped or possibly alive. It's crazy. And then 20 years later, or 15 years later, or 10 years later, now you want to go up here and say stuff when it should have been said a long time ago. So, you know, other people can avoid being in this situation. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, for me, again, I'm beginning to believe what the defense is saying about a money grab. You know, and that's what I'm beginning to think, point blank. Okay? All right, so I forgot what I was going to say before. My phone thing, my message came on my phone, so I forgot what I was going to say, but let's see what she's saying right here. Hey, what? So wait a minute, I got one more thing. So Diddy's ex Jane reveals how they put on sermons on TV when they did not have hotel nights. What kind of sermons? Let's see. So he provided her, when they first met, he provided her with over $150,000, okay? Which covered her rent, paid for her legal fees, and all. And she says that he did that because he used that to control her while they were dating, okay? He said, honestly, you might, if you knew she wasn't going to leave, right, risk my job. I know that's right. So they trying to say that Combs forced Jane to spend multiple hotel nights with him. Okay, so that was like the hotel night freak offs. And she said that he gave her ECSTASY. And so allegedly Sean told her, let's finish strong, even though Jane asked him to stop. So hold on, let's see. So he put on his favorite sermon on TV, and they would watch those together and talk about it. He did that on the nights that they did not have the freak offs. Okay, this is crazy. This dude is so weird. I'm not gonna lie. This is some weird stuff. I mean, it's just more and more stuff, you guys. So he provided her with some recordings of sermons that she could watch whenever she wanted. They focused on topics such as faith, growth, patience, and spiritual development. Now, Jane said that these sections, it made her feel closer to Combs, which the prosecution claims he used to influence her mind. She said he had a favorite pastor, and he would put sermons on TV, and we would watch them together, and he would send me sermons, and I would watch them on my own. So I think Jane was teed up because this man was messing around with young Miami. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so they said that they complicate the prosecution case even further when she started talking about spiritual stuff with her and Combs. This is crazy, y'all. People are absolutely nuts. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what's going on right here. Let me see what this one is, and then we're gonna leave off this stuff down. Then you could talk about Combs all damn night. So then she claimed that there were 3 entertainers at the party, and she allegedly did not take any. You know what? She testified that while she agreed to the party, she also resented Diddy with knowing how much I love him and knowing how I couldn't say no to him. So we read that before. Let's see here. She also said he had some of that white stuff too at the parties, okay? Let's see, hold on. She also said that Sean made her delete her social media post showing him while allegedly forcing her to participate in hotel nights. The jury was shown a photo of Diddy at the popular sushi spot Nobu before a hotel night. Okay, we already talked about Paul and Dunn. Okay, so yeah, I covered everything in detail. And tomorrow I will recap what's going on tomorrow. I think tomorrow they are finishing up Jane Doe's cross-examination. So I can't, I'm looking forward to see who the next witnesses are. They did say they are going to cut some of the witnesses out. So, I guess, they won't be doing no testimonies. And clearly the testimonies must have not been too strong because otherwise they wouldn't be cutting them out, So this case is very interesting, and I can't wait to see how everything plays out. Y'all let me know in the comments section. Do you think Diddy will go to prison, or do you think he's going to get off? Let me know that in the comments section. All right. Thank you, Jermaine, for all of your insights. Probably was. I was thinking the same thing. And we're going to move right on to Anada Lewis, who passed on at age 52. And y'all remember her from MTV. Okay, let's go ahead and change this real quick. Then we are getting ready to get out of here. And I'm going to talk about her a little bit because I used to watch her all the time on MTV. Back in the day. That's her right here. Hold on, y'all. This boy, don't he got his stuff up loud? Okay, so let's see what went on. Let me stop this. Well, actually, I won't stop it. Let me go back to this real quick and do this. I'll put her video up first, and then we'll just go over what happened. So let's go to this.
It's with deep sadness that I share the passing
I'm
of
not gonna listen to it because I hate when they put music. We can't listen to that either because they love this daggone music. Let's see. And this was her when she was on the first show.
hip hop move.
See, they cannot stop playing. I don't know why these people can't do videos without putting music in the background. I do not understand that. This is when Girlfriends used to come on. Y'all remember that show, Girlfriends? Let me see if we can. I know this is music again. See, this is when she was on MTV and stuff. See, back in the day. Let's see if they got music going.
Tonight, we come together to remember Anada Lewis, the former MTV VJ and talk show host, who passed away on Wednesday at the age of 52. This was Ananda's home in Woodland Hills, California, valued at $4.8 million. A beautiful...
Okay, we're going to go back from him because he got to do all that. I'm trying to find something where she's not, they don't have music. Yeah, I used to watch her back in the day, y'all. And she used to always remind me of Tatiana Ali from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, see, remember? Let's see if he's talking without me.
52-year-old Anada Lewis has passed away after a...
Go again. They cannot talk about anything without music. Let's see.
I've tried making this video
Thank
so
you.
many times.
Thank you, Perez. Everybody knew her.
Anada Lewis was
Yeah.
an it girl back in the day.
It sure was.
She
Back
was a
in the day.
VJ on MTV back when people watched the show.
She
She
was the
had her
girl.
own talk show.
She sure did.
She
I used to
is
watch all of that, y'all.
Connected to my story. The very first time I was on television as Perez,
Yeah,
Ananda interviewed me.
yeah, I remember that.
It was for this TV show called The Insider. And that interview helped me through one of the darkest periods of my life. This was in February of 2005, over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I had been blogging just a few months. And shortly after my interview with Ananda, where The Insider called my website Hollywood's most hated website, I went through a deep depression. I was working at Star Magazine and I hated it, but I felt trapped. I felt stuck at the job because they were paying me so well. So I stayed there, and every day I was getting worse and worse. severe situational depression, but I mean severe. I would be in my shower for over a half hour every morning before work, just in the fetal position, because the feeling of the water on me made me feel alive. I had tunnel vision, and all I could see was my life in the future, and it was bleak. I had tunnel vision, and I kept on repeating the same scenario of me eventually moving back to Miami, a failure, being in a job there that I hated, and eventually ending my life if I didn't sooner. And I remember during this period calling my mother, crying, and my mother giving me tough love, saying, "Mijo, that's why they call it work. They don't call it happy." But that interview that I did with Ananda helped me to not give up on my little blog. I kept telling myself, even though I can barely function, I have to keep doing this. Because if my little hobby got me on TV once, maybe it'll get me on TV a second time. And that hope ended up being bigger than any fear. So I kept at it and I kept at it. And I will forever cherish that interview and forever cherish Ananda. She opted against traditional treatment for her breast cancer. That was her choice. She was just 50, it's crazy. She was just 52 years old and leaves behind a son who was born in 2011 and a daughter who is older. Fudge. Her daughter, Sydney, was born in August of 1999. Still so young to lose a mother. And her son is a teenager.
Sad situation.
Rest in peace, Ananda.
Listen,
I've tried making this video.
He did a good job on that right there. One of the best ones that I saw and stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Like I said, I used to watch her on MTV back in the 90s, the late 90s. She used to host Total Request Live in the Hot Zone. In 1999, the New York Times dubbed her the hip hop generation's reigning it girl. Okay. Then she left MTV in 2001, and then she had a little talk show. And I used to watch that too. I hated when it went off the air, but that was a good ass talk show, the Anada Lewis show. Then in 2020 on IG, she told everybody that she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. She said that she had not been getting regular mammograms because of her fear of radiation. Okay. And then in October 2024, she took part in a roundtable discussion with CNN Stephanie M. And she was also a friend from college. And she revealed then that she went against medical advice and did not have a double mastectomy after she was diagnosed. Her tumor then got bigger and spread, and her cancer had progressed to stage 5 or 4, she shared. She said, my plan at first was to get out excessive toxins in my body. I felt like my body is intelligent I know that to be true. Our bodies are brilliantly made. She said, I decided to keep my tumor and try to work it out of my body a different way. I wish I could go back. It's important for me to admit where I went wrong with this. And I remember when she said all of this, because we talked about this in the live, when she said that she wished she would have went on and treated everything and had that double mastectomy and all of that. She also said we are not meant to stay here forever. We come to this life, we have experiences, and then we go. Being real about that with yourself changes how you choose to live. I don't want to spend one more minute than I have to suffering unnecessarily. That for me is not the quality of life I am interested in. When it's time for me to go, I want to be able to look back on my life and say, I did that exactly how I wanted to. Okay? So again, my condolences are expressed out to Anada's family, friends, or kids, or fans, and just anyone who knew her. And my prayers are extended out to them. So let me show y'all another picture of her in 2000. I gotta take this off here. Hold on, I'm gonna take this off. Stop sharing. Okay. Sad situation. 52 years old, passed on from breast cancer. That's sad. And with that being said, guys, I mean, I know some people do like to use natural things to cure things and, things like that. But anytime you're dealing with something major like cancer, hypertension, kidney disease, just, those major type things like that, I think you should talk everything over with your doctor first, your doctors first, and let the doctors know what you're trying to do. And they may be able to, let you do some natural things along with the medications or your treatment, because cancer itself spreads so quickly. It depends on the type of cancer it is. And you just really want to, go ahead and fight that as quick as possible so it won't spread throughout your body. Just like if you have hypertension, some people can, get off medications or take natural things. But for the most part, some people can't. And that's why I always stress you should try these things. You should talk over this stuff with your doctor, your regular doctor first, and see what is the best approach to take, if any, if you want to use natural remedies. Because in some circumstances, it's just not good to use natural remedies, because sometimes these things will work and then later on in life they stop working and you don't know it. Next thing you know, you are already messed up. So that's why I believe in discussing that with doctors, with the doctor first, and seeing what that doctor thinks, and then going from there. And I wish she would have went on and did her double mastectomy and whatever else she needed to do, along with her natural stuff that she was doing. And then, maybe she would have still been, here, with us. And back in 2000, People magazine named her as one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. All right. So again, we are going to miss her. And if you remember watching her back in the day on MTV, you would know that this is a really sweet lady, period. All right. So let's go ahead and move on and get ready to get out of here. Oh, man, that's sad. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live tonight. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I forgot I spelled her name wrong. I was typing so quick. I think I did. Let me see if I did. Yeah, I forgot the other end. But anyway, let me ask you guys to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Also, make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much. All right. Also, thank you to Jermaine for being over here and being one of the best assistants and mods here on YouTube as a whole. I appreciate all you do, Jermaine. Thank you so much. And thank you, Terrain, for tuning in as well. Teron. And also thank you to everybody that wishes and everybody who watches this in the replay. You guys have a good night, and I will see you guys later on. I'll try to do that Country Rain reaction video in the morning, and then tomorrow night I will do another Night Owl Live, and we will do Diddy Trial Day 22 recap. All right? Until then, you guys, good night. And this is Shades 2, and I am out, y'all. Peace out. We was on here for an hour and 33 minutes. We did good tonight, y'all. We really did. Let's go ahead and change everything up here. Hey, come on, I meant to put this on. And then this right here. All right, let's go ahead and put this on, turn this off, and we are out of here, y'all. Y'all know the routine. Good night, y'all. See y'all on my next live. And thanks, Jermaine.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's too. She back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's too. Press replay. Now you thought I left, nah,